As the population of older adults grows exponentially, so does the field of aging. In the past, most professionals entered this field mid-career, but today, more young adults are selecting this field. I've invited Barbara Mendez Campos with the Advent Health Center for Senior Health to talk about why younger generations are choosing to work in the aging field. And Barbara, welcome to Active Lifestyles. This is such a wonderful program, such a wonderful idea that we're seeing young folks coming into this aging field. So you are a geriatric social worker. So how does that make you different from what we would think of as a social worker?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me today. It's really awesome to be here today. So geriatric social workers are really catered to the older adult field. And really, we wear many hats, just like any social worker, but we really focus on providing anything from mediation, counseling, case management, anything that has to do with social work, but more catered towards older adults and their families dealing with any aging issues, chronic illnesses, things like that.
So we need to know your story. How did you decide on this field? Why did you go ahead into geriatric social work?
Yeah. So when I was even younger, I was doing a lot of work with the homeless in Mexico, and that's when I got to first experience this older adult who was just very almost hopeless in a way, and I just felt that was my calling. And then my grandpa just continues to inspire me because he is someone who has faced many comorbidities, and he continues to just persevere and shine a light into being a successful aging older adult. So I think that that's really what inspires me to continue.
So now you've been in the field for several years. So, you know, what's really the high point of doing this type of social work?
Yeah, the high point, I think, is being able to be part of someone's village. And what I mean by that is it really does take a village for all our older adults and their families, and being part of a team that really genuinely cares and wants to instill that hope and instill that beautiful part of aging into their hearts is really, really what drives me and continues to.
Because this is it, I think, you know, as an advocate for that older adult, well, you do deal with the whole family, with the, you know, their, maybe if they're still working with coworkers, with the whole village, as you say, of folks that are interacting with that person.
Absolutely, and being part of that team, whether it's a medical team or just even part of their support network, is so important. It's easy to isolate, and I just love being part of that village.
Yeah, that's what we're always advocating, to, you know, not isolate, to get out there in the Central Florida community and get involved. Now, I know there are certain, maybe what we talked about as barriers. So what was that regarding?
Yeah, I think some challenges that older adults might face is if they are faced with maybe that lack of support, that might be a huge barrier to knowing services out there, having people that advocate on their behalf, whether it's in hospitals, in clinics, and communities, being able to really let our older adults respect their wishes and dignity. And so I think those are some of the challenges that come with maybe even having a diagnosis of dementia, for example, and how that affects older adults.
Oh, sure. Now, you mentioned you have a couple of really good stories. So we'd love to hear those.
Yeah, so I think that when it comes to why I even love doing this and why I love being part of someone's village, two stories really come to mind. And I think the first one is related to my work in substance abuse. When I used to be in Detroit, Michigan, I used to do substance abuse work, and I had a lot of the older adult population. So I had someone come in who was about 75 years old, and he had just relapsed after 20 years of sustained sobriety. And he came relapsed, and he shared a powerful statement with me saying, well, I'm old, what's the point? You know?
Yeah.
And that loss of hope really just struck a chord in my heart. And in our work, in our therapeutic work, we were able to help him see there's so much to offer. Older adult has nothing to do with what you have to offer as a person. And that really just touched my heart, and now he's part of the alumni program helping other people recover, younger, older, and so it's wonderful to see that happen.
And the other story?
And the second story, one of my favorites too, is now in my current work in the clinic, I think that that's part of instilling hope, is working with people who do have a diagnosis of dementia, and I see people come to us and they're just almost at a loss, like, is there anything we can do? Is there any, you know, end of the road here? And being able to be there and let them know that even though there might not be a cure, there's a lot of care and things that we can continue doing for their brain health and for their quality of life.
Right, there are things that can be done. So tell those college-age folks out there why they should consider this geriatric field.
Absolutely. I think that you guys should all consider this aging field because there's so much opportunity for growth in this community, so much to give back, and so even on the systematic level, so much legislature that can be changed for our older adults and continue inspiring generations to keep doing that.
And you'll get so much of a benefit back from doing that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
imagine. So,
oh, yes. It's a lot of rewards for sure being part of that village, like I told you.
Oh, perfect. And Barbara, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on why more young professionals are choosing the aging field. Thanks so much.
Thank you.